bend over, see if you can touch the ground or even touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, you've got really tight hamstrings. If you can touch your toes but you can't touch the ground, you've got tight hamstrings, but they could use a little bit of work. Second test, try and squat down all the way. If you can't get all the way down into a deep squat like you're a catcher in baseball, if you can only get here or it's really painful, then you more than likely have tight hips. So in order to get past these tight hips, to improve your performance and reduce your pain, do these couple stretches. First stretch, it's called the hip flexor stretch. You get down on one knee and you can perform this one to both sides. You want this knee to be over top of your toe, you want this one to be back underneath your hip, and you really want to stretch forward, pushing your hips forward, and you can even put your arms over your head. You kind of slightly stretch backwards a little bit right there. You should feel a lot of tension right here in your hip as that's stretching out your hip joint. If you can also, you also want to put the top of your foot down to be able to get deeper into that. Here you can get a good stretch, but you can get a lot deeper if you put your top of your foot down on the ground. Stretch each side for about 10 to 15 seconds. This is called single knee hip flexor stretch. Second stretch, called the crab stretch. Get down into a deep squat. If you can't get all the way down, just get as low as you can. Put your elbows inside of your knees, and you want to apply a little bit of gradual pressure outward, really stretching those groins and the inside of your hips. You really want your feet to be about shoulder width apart. Don't go over you don't want your weight to be over on your toes. You want to kind of be flat-footed. This is called crab stretch. One more stretch to really stretch out those hips is a lateral lunge stretch. I like to get really deep and low. Stretch out, you can really feel it on the inside of your hip, inside your groin here, but as well as outside. You want to do it to both sides. Lateral lunge to stretch your hips. Now I'm going to show you guys 3 hamstring stretches to try out. First one is lying hamstring stretch. Lie down on the floor. Try and keep your bottom leg down, flat when you do this. And you want to grab it probably around your calf area. And it's okay if you bend your knee a little bit, you should still feel it stretching in your hip. You'll feel a little bit of tension behind your knee, only if you keep it real straight, but keeping it a little bent, you'll feel the tension here, really stretch out those hamstrings, perform that to both sides. Second hamstring stretch, real basic, an oldie bit of goodie, hang your hams. Slight micro bend in your knees, hang them all the way down. Try to touch the ground or your toes. Once you start to be able to stretch out, you should be able to straighten your knees at some point. Let's hang your hams. The third, final stretch I want to show you for hamstrings, figure 4 stretch. I'll actually sit so you can see it. You want to make a 4 out of your legs, put one foot inside here. Reach up, try and grab your toes with both hands. Don't just give it the old elementary school, yeah, I'm stretching. Try and grab with both hands. You should feel good tension underneath here, but you should also feel it stretching your hip a little bit too. Switch sides, hit it with both sides. You want to do about 10 to 15 seconds each side. And that's it.